When talking about this, I'm not going to keep saying Crisis Core, Final Fantasy VII Reunion. That's far too many words, and I can't be bothered. So I'll probably just call it Crisis Core, and I'll preface it with maybe new or remake or something. If I'm talking about the old one, I might say original, old, PSP, whatever. But I did have that back in the day. I played it, I completed it. I can't remember if I did all missions, but I know I definitely got to the end of the story. And I was kind of wary with this, and I think a lot of people were, because of the changes that were made in Final Fantasy VII Remake. There were things there that did not play out the same. And the ending of that was left with this idea of, you think you know this story, which I take to mean the entire collection of Final Fantasy VII, but you don't. And in case you don't know, collection of Final Fantasy VII is obviously the Final Fantasy VII itself, Crisis Core, Dirge of Cerberus, Advent Children, a lot of extra stuff on top of that as well. There's so much stuff out there. They went all in on this universe, you can tell. But that's the thing to me. I was like, so everything could be up for grabs. And yeah, this is faithful. The story's just, I mean, some cutscenes are literally lifted and upresed. But I enjoyed playing it through again. You know, I went back into this world, seeing it with shiny new visuals and crisp everything. I could have probably emulated it. I did try years ago, but it just didn't feel right to me. But the quality of life changes here, I think, made this definitely worth another go. And like I say, the fact that it didn't change the story. I mean, the funny side thing that I think I might have mentioned in the Final Fantasy VII one, I think I briefly touched on it, knowing that I'd end up talking about this down the line. This channel could have originally been called Rhapsodos Productions. I played with that idea for a while, and I was like, there's an extra syllable there I could probably drop. So Rhapsos became instead of Rhapsodos. But yeah, that's the entire reason. Like, Genesis Rhapsodos was a character who I really liked. I don't think it was a, attractive thing or an obsession with Gact, which I know some people who do have that. Or, like I didn't want to be him or anything like that. I just really like something about the character. And that's not changed. I mean, different voice actor this time. Some of them do, unfortunately. But I could live with it. This is a reimagining, like the original. I mean, Final Fantasy VII Remake, we had voice on stuff. We didn't have any voice before. So this is all new in a sense. But yeah, it's definitely worth playing, even if you've played the old one. There's quality of life changes, like I say. There's a few little things that might be a bit different, but all for the better. I think if they'd literally just lifted the original one and just, like I say, upscaled it, blah, 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 people have been up in arms. You can't charge a full price for a game for that. And I agree. Even if a lot of work went in, to doing the upresing, etc., if it wasn't just all done by AI, I still think remaking it from the ground up is better, because you can do so much more. You can tweak it to the new media that it's going to be on. But I really did like this, and I loved the emotional upheaval that I got at the end, to be completely honest. It really cut me so much, like that ending. Well, the sort of bit before the ending properly, like the unwinnable fight scenario. You've got Zack fighting for his life, which, if I recall rightly, I think is a bit like Halo Reach, where it's like it's been a while since I played that, to be honest, and someone will correct me, I'm sure. But there's this battle at the end that you're basically destined to lose. And seeing all the people sort of fading from the DMW as Zack's struggling more and more. There's even a section where, you can hammer that X button or whatever controller you're using, as hard as you want, as rapidly as you want, but Zack is swinging like he's absolutely drained, because he is. He has little left to give. And of course, in typical sort of anime and JRPG and all sorts of stuff, he always gets, you always get that last moment before they die. There's always that, oh, you carry on my legacy kind of thing that, like, he does to Cloud. It's a trope. People don't normally get that. If you've got this idea that when you die, you're going to have famous last words that you'll be able to pass on to someone, it doesn't work like that. It's often very short and surprising. And if you're lucky, you might get a, oh, it's happening. And that's about it. So it is a trope, and we all know that, but it does sell the drama. It does sell the emotional impact. I was in tears towards the end of this game. I was sat there like enjoying it, but ugly crying. It was strange if you've never done that. But yeah, even with that, I really enjoyed this. But there was a wonderful piece of symmetry, and this was one of the original cutscenes that was lifted and upresed, clearly, of Zack reaching up and hand grabbing him, we assume the spirit of Angeal, to let him cross over, if you will, let him die in peace. I realised there's a visual symmetry with Advent Children. I can't remember the three people's names, but there's the one, if you've seen it, you know exactly what I mean. They're sort of reaching up and everything like that. Also, you've got the bit when Cloud's being, pulled up by the crew during a battle, and the last one is Aerith giving him that lift. So you've got both of those called back here. But if the story's changed, if Final Fantasy VII Remake has kind of said, stuff you think you know may not be true anymore, Advent Children is no longer canon, surely. If Aerith now has a chance of surviving, at least, they may still do it, just to kind of go, yeah, look, things might turn out better. No, tough, she dies. They might do that to us. I would not put it past them. But if they don't, they will need to basically remake Advent Children as well. To be honest, I'd probably still watch it. I love this world. It's been such a part of my life as I've grown up. If I get another tattoo, and that's not really an if, let's be honest. When I get another tattoo, I already have an idea of what I want. I'll give you a clue. There's a guy with black hair wearing it, who passes it to the guy with blonde hair. I would like that somewhere on me, but again, personalised in a way. I think that would be very, very sweet to do. Because that is also something that means a lot to me. So yeah, even if you've played the original, give this a go. But before I do end this video, well, there's one thing I want to say at the end, but before that, there is one downside that did come to mind. Releasing this now, when we've had the first part of the 7 remake, before we've had the massive thing about the flashback, and it was Cloud who was at Nibelheim as the soldier guy, etc. But Tifa's like, I don't think it was. All that kind of stuff, and the reveal that happens late in the original Final Fantasy VII. For people coming to this series through the remakes, which is probably not an ideal thing, but for people doing that, this has shot that emotional, or that gotcha kind of moment. That amazing reveal of, no, it wasn't actually Cloud. He is misremembering, or whatever. It was this other person. He was there, but not in the role that he thinks he was. And, like I say, people who haven't had that original experience with Final Fantasy VII won't get that payoff moment. So that's one of the only major downsides I can say to this. And that's just literally release date. It's not the game itself. It's just maybe choosing to do it now rather than maybe waiting after the next bit or at the end. Do all of the remake series, like however many pieces they're putting Final Fantasy VII into, then this, and then Dirge of Cerberus or whatever. It could be done, but they wanted to do it, obviously, as an interstitial thing, fine, but it has removed some of that impact. I will just have that one downside. But to end on a high, like I always do, I'm going to end with the words of both Angeal and Zack, and that is, embrace your dreams and defend your soldier honour. Until next time, as always, thanks for watching, and take care.